Welcome back. I'm Marco Lamano. The King of Rant is coming back to Southwest Florida, and while comedian Lewis Black isn't coming to Sarasota as he did last year in December, he'll be performing this Thursday just up the road at the Duke Energy Center for the Arts Manatee Theater. In part two, or this is part rather, of his final tour as he retires from touring, but he's not retiring from everything. He's reprising his role as Anger in the Disney-Pixar movie Inside Out 2 coming this summer. So now in part two of our interview, I asked him what it was like to get the call to play in a Pixar film.
It opens June 14th. I read again in the first week in January. We have another session. Way back when we would finish the first one, I said, I don't think there's going to be a second one because of the way in which, what do you do with the voices? And they basically brought in other emotions that are coming in.
What was it like getting the call the first time to play Anger?
The Pixar called and they're wondering if I said, yeah. And before I knew, I just went, yes. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care at all. It's Pixar. Yeah, I'll do it. Then they sent me a box of with a beautiful note saying, you know, that they didn't know if I knew who they were. And I was thinking, wow, they must think I'm living in a cave. And they sent me a bunch of stuff, you know, like Toy Story and the Nemo. I'm thinking, wow, it's like I'm not Rip Van Winkle, but it was really literally they showed a humility you don't see in Hollywood ever. But I got the script they gave me, and which really took some courage on their part, because I write, so I know it, and they're sending me like a rough draft, and I'm going, well, and I'm looking at it, thinking, ooh, well, here's the first flop that Pixar's ever going to do. This is awful. I can't. I've said I'm going to do it, but wow, somebody ought to talk to them. And then like 3.5 years into it or so, Pete discovers, well, you know, kind of thinks something is off. They're all discussing it. They really work together. And he goes, something's wrong with our structure and the way we're going about this. And they reworked it. They did a restructuring because they really realized that joy needs sadness. And that was the hook to the whole thing, in part, in terms of, you know, being able to create the through line.
How do you figure out something's not working, the pacing's off? When does that actually happen in the creation? In
terms of my being on stage, now I'm, let's say, 25 shows, 30 shows into what will be my next special. And I started with stuff, and it you know, part of it is just laziness. I start with an intro that I've used before from the last special. So I take some of the things that I did, and then I start putting in the things that I want to add. Like I've got this section now, and I'm basically taking the audience through the fact that I haven't figured out how to do this section. And eventually I got to get rid of that. You can't stand on stage unless I can make that funny, you know. So, you know, that was like, and it's like, I'm going to go in this weekend to work and I'm coming to see you guys. Hopefully that section is gone and I just can throw it away and go right to what I want to say and see what happens then. And that's what happens. You throw something out and see what occurs. You know, it's nice to do stand-up in that you're doing it. I'm doing it 4 nights a week, you know, that I can go, you know, and a lot of the times it's just, you know, cut to the chase. It's like editing. It's like, don't dawdle around, just go to the line. You don't need to fill up time with you babbling about this or that or the other. Just go to what the joke is and shut up.
It makes a lot of sense. So really a lot of the non-televised stuff, and the vast majority is non-televised, it allows you to try different pacing, see how people react to different things.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing is that it's really, and I don't do it. I do it occasionally, but I don't do it often, is everything that since like 2014 is on, we've taped everything I've done. It's like Richard Nixon on steroids. It's crazy. Everything. We've got it all on film. I mean, it's all been filmed. You know, one of the things I was going to do this week was finally, there's two times I really felt like I nailed some things. Now I'm going to go back and watch it. And that's when it really, you know, that helps too. When I find, I went, because I'm not writing it down. So part of my brain goes, okay, I got it on film, I'll find it again. Further down the road of developing something, my brain will, it's not a problem. It's I did it, and now I'm doing it again and again. So it's
So much fun to talk to. Black will perform at Duke Energy Center for the Arts, Manatee Theater this Thursday, December 14th. Tickets are available on lewisblack.com. We'll have a direct link on this interview on SNNTV.com.